The National Geographic Society is one of our leading participants on a number of fronts. This isn't just about education, although we're going to go deep on education today. They're seeing how they can use this platform, the global GIS kind of platform, for telling stories about the changing planet, getting people to know, just like they did with their magazine for so many years. They also see it as a way to support their conservation and community action program for the development of conservation zones. They see it as a platform for supporting their exploration and science programs, and it just goes on and on. I'd like to show a short video on their program, and then we'll come back in a moment with Vicki.
We're in a new age of exploration. In ways it looks like what's come before. Explorers have always been curious, courageous, driven to see the unseen. But today, their tools are more powerful, discoveries more diverse, and often what's at stake is nothing less than the future.
One of the big scientific questions this expedition is answering is how climate change in particular is happening in the high mountain regions.
As ecosystems are destroyed, plant species, animal species will disappear. These are shocking things, but it should wake us up. We should be very, very alert now.
National Geographic and Esri have joined forces to inspire a new generation to take on the planet's great challenges, layer by layer. A partnership with the common mission to advance education, conservation, and geographic science enters a new chapter. The goal, to promote GIS in schools and to produce stories for students about the power of geography.
Science isn't useful unless it's communicated.
GIS turns statistics and numbers into pictures and maps.
National Geographic and Esri are working together in a new age of exploration for the next generation.
Oh, welcome back here. From time to time in my life, and I'm sure this is true with you, you meet somebody that is just changes your outlook. And I've had the experience with a person that I'm now very pleased to introduce you to. Vicki Phillips is a teacher. She started as a teacher. She knows about teaching. She went to work in different corporate environments and NGOs, philanthropy. And a few years ago, she was selected by an exhaustive research search team to become the Vice President and Chief Education Officer of the National Geographic Society. And I'm sort of going to look to my right, and there she is. Hi, Vicki, good morning.
Good morning, Jack.
Yeah, it's good. Well, thank you very much for joining this virtual audience. There's a lot of people that think National Geographic is their hero organization, and I'm so pleased to introduce them to you because I know what you're up to. We didn't practice too much, but we had this idea that Vicki and I would have a conversation about her work. And as you'll come to know, it's extraordinary work. Let me just start, Vicki, by asking, you have a vision and you're building a strategic plan at National Geographic to really realize this vision. And it's no little vision. I shared a little bit on Monday, but I mean, can you share firsthand with these people what you're up to?
Well, Jack, it's been such a privilege to become the Chief Education Officer at National Geographic. And last fall, we adopted a new global education strategy. It's basically built on the premise that young people and the educators who reach them are key to addressing the planet's most pressing problems. And the strategy has three components, if you will. One is to empower educators and young people to seek out solutions. Our goal is to cultivate empathy for the Earth among 100 million young people over this decade and to lift the voices of 5 million young leaders.
Wow. Wow.
It's an ambitious goal, as you might look to National Geographic for. The second component is to equip educators, 2.5 million of those, and young people with game-changing content and tools. Science, social studies, geography content delivered anywhere, anytime on any device, and innovative classroom tools. You know, most innovations such as AR, VR, GIS are ubiquitous in other fields before they ever reach the classroom, and we want to change that. And then the third piece, which I know is near and dear to Esri and National Geographic's heart, is that we want to help build the field, and in particular to increase geographic knowledge. Geography is a science, as you well know, suited to solving the problems of the 21st century. And we want to give young people in particular a much more modern view of what geography is all about.
That excites my little heart right here. So you're not just saying, okay, we're going to do this. I mean, many of the people in the audience here have been active in their schools with their children, introducing GIS. And it's been very popular, actually, with sort of a fringe group of teachers. I mean, very exciting teacher. I love teachers. My sister's a teacher. And the ones that really have grabbed onto GIS and brought it in their classroom, they have to be heroic because they had to learn the technology themselves and build their own curriculum and all of those sorts of things. So what do you imagine is going to come out of this partnership? I mean, I know, but I want to ask you so that they know this blending together of technology and your powerful curriculum development.
Well, I think one thing we want to do together is to really fuel young people's curiosity and give them that explorer's mindset. And that certainly includes giving them geographic and geospatial skills that they need to see those patterns, to make informed decisions, and to create, you know, innovative solutions. And I think what's powerful about this joint partnership is that it leverages the unique assets of National Geographic and the unique assets of Esri to do that. So there are multiple things that we are already doing and going to continue to do together. For example, MapMaker Interactive is an application we've been working on together. People might think of it as an on-ramp to GIS, a mapping tool that is free, can be used alone or embedded in curriculum, and allows students and schools to make maps about anything, anytime. And then we're working on even more sophisticated learning tools, curriculum and professional learning for educators that builds their geospatial skills and moves them along that mapping continuum from MapMaker to ArcGIS. And Jack, you know, and I'm sure many in the audience knows that when educators and students have these skills, a larger world of solutions seeking and innovation is open to them, and they can start to apply these skills to real world problems. We've seen that across schools globally, and we've seen it right here on the Esri stage in many UCs.
That's true. Yeah. Yes, I like this idea of an on-ramp, but even your on-ramp, that MapMaker is accessing the global GIS content. So it's making it real for kids at an early age, and then you step them into learn by doing and getting more and more sophisticated. So yeah, and that requires building, like you did with the MapMaker, new experiences for children so that they can learn and as part of their overall curriculum. That's bringing like this slideshows where into it.
Yeah. And we actually have a demo that illustrates some of this.
Well, let's look at it.
Yes.
Hi there. My name's Riley Peak, and I'm the team lead for Learn ArcGIS. Teams from across Esri and National Geographic have been merging tech and talent to create new, high-quality resources for your classroom and home learning environment. Our co-designed videos, activities, and collections will be hosted on both organizations' websites and will help your child stay engaged and preparing for their future, no matter where they're learning from. Let me share with you a few examples of what you'll find and where to find them. At National Geographic, we've started publishing instructional tools and resources. Their resource library is a rich collection for parents and educators seeking high-quality, free curricular activities that are mapped to standards and incorporate the work of explorers and storytellers. One of our first collaborative projects is this collection of 20 GIS activities for addressing and understanding climate change. Every collection is going to include a detailed description, appropriate grade level and subjects so that you have everything that you need in order to decide where it's going to fit into your child's curriculum and schedule. If you'd like your student to build skills and confidence in ArcGIS Online first, have them work through one of the Getting Started series. They don't require any login. They include short videos and simple instructions. For example, this skill builder on using the measure tool in ArcGIS Online starts with a short video calculating the area of Mount Vesuvius, and then moves on to simple tasks such as measuring the length of Greenland, which is about 1,600 miles, and comparing it to the length of Africa, which they look very similar here, but Africa is actually about twice as big. And that can start a discussion about how projections are going to affect the way things appear on the map. We've also built end-to-end instructional workflows for learning how to create maps and apps and solving more complex spatial problems. This activity, called Changing Waters, is a scaffolded exercise of 3 activities that build upon one another. The first requires no login and can take under 10 minutes for the learner to explore places in the world that has experienced significant changes in their water supply. For example, the Aral Sea in Central Asia was once the 4th largest lake in the world. The image on the left is from 2014, and the image on the right is from 2019. It's a dramatic drop in water there. Lake Shasta in Northern California was experiencing years of extreme drought before an El Niño spring in 2016. You can see, again, the dramatic change between the 2 time frames. The second activity in Changing Waters invites the student to recreate the swipe app of the Aral Sea with imagery provided. And then the third activity encourages the learner to pick somewhere in the world where they've observed experiencing change. We'll help them find satellite imagery, construct their swipe app in a story, and allows them to share what they've learned about a place that's important to them. Story maps are another great space for Esri and National Geographic to meet because they can be used in a variety of ways to bolster youth education, build their knowledge on world issues, and it's a creative platform for them to be able to build their own stories and projects. This informational story map is called 5 Years of Drought. It uses a combination of creative, eye-catching maps, and the first interactive map allows the student to see patterns at the country level. Then they can zoom in to more specific locations, such as this area southeast of Phoenix, which has experienced sustained drought over the entirety of the past 5 years. I'm going to switch over now to Esri's brand new beta site called Teach with GIS. At this site, you'll find teacher testimonials, ready-made teaching tools, student and teacher training materials, as well as our National Geographic collaboration resources. So if you saw the Explorer video clips early on, here's where you can go to find the full-length videos, coupled with hands-on activities, and include story maps by the explorers themselves. So, create a map of deforestation with Jane Goodall Institute. Create an elevation profile of Paul Salopek's journey across South Asia. Or join Dr. Ray Wynn Grant in creating a map of black bears to predict human interaction. Everything I've shown you here today is really only the beginning of the work that we plan to do with National Geographic. So go and bookmark the National Geographic Education Resource Library and teachwithgis.com to stay informed on this exciting collaboration to help your students become solution seekers for the planet.
Wow, Riley. Wow. You know, Vicki, this is great. I mean, I'm seeing some of the first stuff live for the first time.
They are great tools. They're going to allow educators who reach all of these young people to help those young people have the knowledge and skills they need to act with urgency and be the architects of change. We're very excited about them.
Yeah, I mean, you and I have talked about this idea of digital natives, but this discussion we started talking about being spatially native. Just imagine children who are spatially or geospatially native. This could change the way people see the world. I've been hearing about this thing called Genji. What's this all about?
Well, this in many ways is what you refer to as spatially native solution seekers. Generation Geo, or Gen Geo as we call it, is how National Geographic refers to this building community of youth. They're youth that are committed to creating a sustainable future and a thriving planet, and they are acting in their local communities and working together around the globe, lifting their voices, helping drive progress and inspiring hope and action. And, you know, they're leading that new age of discovery, exploration, and impact. And at National Geographic, we're very committed to supporting their efforts and lifting their voices. In fact, yesterday, Jack, I had the privilege of announcing a group of change makers that exemplify Gen Geo. They're the spring 2020 National Geographic cohort of young explorers. Collectively, they represent 6 countries, and they are leading efforts around everything from scientific innovation to conservation to education to civic engagement. And they are united by this common purpose, a profound desire to make a difference, and doing it with confidence, courage, and conviction. It's part of that, 100 million that I mentioned earlier. And these young leaders in particular are part of the 5 million whose voices we want to lift and who this partnership will help us accelerate.
Yes. Well, again, my heart is battering. This is so wonderful. Well, look, this isn't just between National Geographic and ourselves. I love that partnership, of course, but how do you imagine our users getting involved and benefiting, and how can they help? How can all of us help you actually in this vision?
Well, 2 things immediately come to mind. One, most of us have educators in our lives somewhere, whether it's traditional educators or parents as educators or others in the community who educate. So share with those educators in your lives and with your networks the resources that this partnership is creating. They are going to be such impactful tools, and we want to make sure that every educator has access to them. And then the second is help us identify these young leaders around the world in every part of the globe. Help us identify and develop, as Jack would say, these spatially native solution seekers. Help us find and cultivate Gen Geo.
That's fantastic.
And I think we have an actual video that helps illustrate how powerful this young community can be.
Okay, let's show it.
We have an amazing opportunity to shape the way a generation sees the world.
Our planet is changing.
And that affects us all.
There are big challenges and lots of reasons to hope.
I want to help create a better future.
I want to be a leader.
I feel hopeful because there are a lot of people in the world who do care about the Earth.
The first step in solving an issue would be learning about it.
Show me how to explore.
That curiosity leads to empowerment and the will to make change.
How to care for the planet.
I do feel like I could be part of the solution.
And for others.
We're all citizens of one planet Earth.
how to inspire.
If my teachers introduce me to a new idea, something that I can make a change in the world, it makes me feel empowered.
How to be a force for change.
We, all of us, are a global community of change makers.
And how to build a movement.
Young people are the Earth's most untapped resource for hope. And we're seeing it through movements led nationally by our youth. Students are not just the future, but we are very much part of the present.
Show me the world. And I will lead.
And I will lead.
And I will lead.
And I will lead.
Give us a chance to change the world. And we will lead.
Wow. Vicki.
That video always makes my heart sing.
It makes my heart sing, I can tell you. It does. And I'm sure all of these people in the world realize the power of investing in children, getting them to understand what so many of us understand, how it's all interrelated. And I so much appreciate this partnership, Vicki. You have no idea. I want to go all in. I'll go all in. I'm all in with you.
Thank you. We feel the same, and we are excited about what the Esri community can help us do.
Yes. Yeah, they're going to adopt schools, they're going to adopt teachers, they're going to teach their own kids, they're going to go big. And thanks to you. Vicki, thank you very, very much for joining us.
Thanks so much.
And I'll be looking forward to getting back to DC soon and seeing you face to face again.
Thank you.